Hey everybody, I'm Arglethump, and I'm doing a speedrun for Nancy Drew, Secret of the Old Clock. A speedrun is a challenge where you try to beat a game as quickly as possible, and you might notice I'm playing the French version of the game. I'm not playing the English version. I think the French version is a little faster. I think it's a couple of minutes faster. We'll find out. We'll see if I can beat my speedrun record for the English version. I'll get started. 3, 2, 1, go.
L'année 1930. L'endroit, la route d'Itusville. Nous retrouvons Nancy Drew au
I'm gonna try looking up what my current record is. Wait, but I have to play this game too. Oh no, I can't do two things at once. That's dangerous. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is click in the upper left-hand corner here. That helps skip a little bit of the opening scene. And hi, everybody! Hey, so I'm actually recording this live on the internet. I'm live streaming this. I did a live stream for this speedrun earlier today, but I did really awful. It was a grand disaster. It's a big disaster. It was pretty awful, and so that's why I'm trying again. Okay, so with this conversation, what you do is you select the second option every single time.
Les tartes sont la spécialité de l'auberge des Lilas. On nous les commande de partout. Oh, ça me fait penser. Ton père a appelé. Il faut que tu le rappelles. Tu peux te servir.
Okay, give me a second. I'm still trying to look up my okay, second option. This one is faster, as you can see, because the second option is shorter than the first. Here's the weird part of the game. Take a look at this. Nancy's option that has, pauses in it. So, in English, when Nancy says that in English, she says, well, maybe she's still, still thinking about her mom. That's what English Nancy says. French Nancy, as you saw there, does not pause at all during that sentence. So, it's actually a faster option to pick in French, whereas when you're playing the game in English, that's a slower option because Nancy takes longer. And I'm checking here. It looks like my record for the English version of this game is 59 minutes and 35 seconds. So can I beat this game in under an hour? Okay, so she just told me to make like a Boy Scout and be prepared. So now I go upstairs and I talk to Emily. And with Emily, I select the first option here. And then I select the second option every single time.
Tu ne dois pas sortir beaucoup. C'est pour ça que je veux te demander une faveur. Une grosse faveur. À toi et à
Une grosse faveur.
Chut. Qu'est-ce qu'il y a? J'ai cru entendre quelque chose. Ton père a un coffre, n'est-ce pas?
Yeah.
Tu as besoin de mettre quelque chose dans un coffre? Tu vois ces bijoux? J'aimerais que tu les emportes avec toi et que tu les mettes dans le coffre de ton père. C'est magnifique. C'était à ma mère. Les rares fois où je l'ai vue les porter, elle ressemblait à une star de cinéma. Je les cachais ici, dans ma chambre. Mais tout bien considéré, je me sentirais mieux si tu les emportais.
So, one of these options here, with Jane's conversation, not Jane, Emily's conversation, anyway. One of these conversations is just like that one I mentioned earlier with Jane, where one option is faster in French when it was slower in English. So that happens here. That happens here with this conversation with Emily. And then that doesn't happen for the rest of the game. Every single conversation is the exact same, length in French and English. So only the start of the game where you have to pick some slightly different options. Okay, so with this conversation, I select the first option and the first option. So let me just talk about conversations in general in this game. 90% of the time, the way to get through a conversation is to pick the shorter option. We have 2 sentences Nancy can say. If you've got one sentence that is 3 words long and one sentence which is 70 words long, you obviously go with the sentence that's 3 words long, because that is a shorter sentence. It doesn't take as much time to say, and it's faster. So that's why we do those responses in a speedrun. Also, sometimes there are optional conversations that you can go through. So I try to avoid every optional conversation. So I'll try to think of a good example. Here's a good example. In this conversation we're going to have with Emily now, one of the conversation options is to talk to her about Richard Topham. And I'm going to save time by skipping that optional conversation. You can get through the convo without mentioning Richard, so that's what I'm going to do. I can speak a few words in French. A few words in French. Oh, hey, I know that person. That's one of my friends. What? Shouldn't you be working right now instead of watching video games? Of course, I probably should be working right now instead of playing video games. So, yeah. So, I'm... Oh man, I'm just kind of tired right now. So hopefully that means I will be a super great, fantastic player and win all the games. So here's one of the conversations. The fastest one is to ask if he has any family.
Il a toujours dit que maman et moi étions sa famille. Joshua était un peu loufoque. Un jour, il est venu à ma fête d'anniversaire habillé comme ma grand-tante Harriet. J'ai su que c'était lui seulement 2 jours plus tard. Bref, il avait toutes sortes de hobbies bizarres et il a toujours pensé que ça serait chouette de pouvoir lire dans les esprits. Joshua a invité Richard Topham à s'installer chez lui pour qu'il puisse l'aider à développer ses pouvoirs paranormaux à domicile.
Yeah, I've got this, guys. I'm totally gonna win. Okay. So as I said, we skipped the conversation about Richard Topham, which, you know, that was one of those 3 options we could have picked. I think it's, if you select, were there any problems finding the will, that's... Oh wait, I don't think I picked the right answer. What? No! We need to ask if the jewels were insured. It's sometimes easy to mess up when you don't read the language. Whoops. Okay, don't worry. That's it. That's the only place where I'm gonna mess up, right? Only place where I'm gonna mess up and ask about the wrong thing.
Tu pourrais peut-être aller lui parler, s'il te plaît. Ça m'aiderait tellement. J'imagine. Il dirige la banque de Main Street. Tu ne peux pas la rater.
Okay, and we do have to talk to her about Jim Archer in order to get into Jim Archer's house. Not his house, his bank. Okay, pick up the piece of paper when it's on the left-hand side of the screen. Click like a madman to get over here.
Par ici, Miss Drew. Trouvez la souris jouée et donnez-la à Uri. Il est bien. Sinon,
Oh, another one of my Facebook friends is here. Why are all my Facebook friends watching this? I didn't post about this on Facebook, did I? Now, next thing you know what? My mom's gonna show up. Mom's gonna show up. She's like, "Hi, Michael. I was watching this on Facebook. How come you're not taking care of my granddaughter, Michael?" Mom!
Comme c'est gentil de passer me voir. Et merci d'avoir marché au lieu de me garder dans la rue.
So Topham conversation here, we select the second option every single time until like halfway through the conversation, and then we're gonna start selecting the first option.
En utilisant rien d'autre que ma propre énergie psychique. Avez-vous déjà concentré la lumière du soleil grâce à une loupe afin d'obtenir un minuscule mais brûlant point de lumière, Miss Drew?
Oui, je crois.
Eh bien, voyez-vous, c'est ce que je fais avec mes ondes cérébrales.
Yeah, so the reason why the second option here is faster is because if you do the first option, he will, you'll talk about something else and then you'll have another choice to make before getting to the end. Well, if you select this option, it goes straight to this line and then into the end. And by the end of the conversation, I mean the point where he says, "Hey, if you want, I believe I have an opening today."
Je crains d'être occupé, jeune fille. Bien trop occupé pour perdre mon temps en bavardage.
Quand est-ce que je pourrais repasser?
Je vais être franc, Miss Drew. J'ai découvert que plus je passe du temps avec, comment dire, des gens à l'intellect limité.
I really do like this, I mean, I really like French Topham. His voice is cool.
C'est-à-dire que vos ondes cérébrales ne sont pas trop inférieures aux miennes, et donc préjudiciables.
Comment puis-je faire?
J'ai là un test d'intelligence. Si vous parvenez à trouver
So one of the differences between English and French is screens like this, where we don't actually see a character talking, where all it is the screen ends once the character stops talking.
Je peux jeter un œil aux alentours?
Same with this. We have to wait for them to stop talking, and that's all we need to do before we continue. So obviously, people are not going to be speaking for the exact same number of seconds in English and in French. Some things are faster in French, some things are slower in French. I think things are overall slower in French. The things that I timed out were all overwhelmingly slower in French. And by overwhelmingly, I mean like 5 seconds faster.
On dirait que je suis à prêter un dessous de plat à quelqu'un, mais je ne peux pas savoir qui.
Okay, navigation through his house is kind of tough. I'm not really good at spinning around in circles and doing U-turns and things like that. And I'll be quiet because I need to solve a puzzle. Oh gosh, bell and bell, right? Yeah, butterfly and hat and gear and cheese grater. Oh, hey, got that. Oh, the 2 gears were here, right? Gear, gear. Got it. Okay. Mouse and mouse. I was told today that is a mouse. I always thought that was a polar bear. I play video games. Got it. That was pretty good. So that's one of the puzzles where it's randomized. That is to say that the puzzle solution changes every time you look at the puzzle. So say you save your game on the puzzle and reload, the puzzle will change. The puzzle will be different, the layout of the various pieces will be different, as opposed to, say, this puzzle where the layout of the pieces is the same every single time. Didn't mean to move that back up. The only change between those pieces is junior mode and senior mode. Senior mode has a slightly more difficult way through that puzzle. Okay, and now we ask Emily about her mother's middle name. Oh no, wrong item! Oh, whoops. This is a problem with reading in languages that I don't speak. Okay. Fortunately, picking the wrong option there did not waste too much time, and she said, don't forget to call your father, which I will maybe not do. Shout out to all the people watching this video. This unannounced video. Which I guess somebody must have announced on Facebook, because Mom is watching. I don't know why I find that hilarious. But I do. Okay.
Madame Sheldon?
So, like I said, with some of the conversations being faster in French, this particular conversation is a lot faster in French. I think it's about 20 seconds faster. I think Madame Sheldon speaks slowly in English. She goes, "Yes, get on with it, dear. You may not only see the trivet, you may have it. Once I find it, that is." That's my imitation of how quickly she speaks.
La standardiste locale. Vous pouvez la trouver dans sa maison, qu'elle insiste pour appeler Titusville Telecom.
See, one of the weird things about, my family never watches me play any video games, ever. It's sad. I don't know if it's sad or it's strange. It's like, oh, hey, I've basically been making video game walkthroughs for like 10 years, and nobody in my family is ever interested in watching me play video games. But clearly people on the internet, I've got like, you know, many views at this point. What am I wearing today? I am wearing a really bad t-shirt because, we had to do a lot of yard work today. Like 3 huge bags full of dirt and everything. And, you know, we cleared them out, and I don't know, I'm kind of exhausted from doing all that heavy lifting. We also had a bunch of steps, which were like 30 pounds each, so we moved like about 12 of them today, and it was pretty crazy. The funny is my wife sometimes comes in and watches my, she doesn't like watch me play the video games, but she'll come in during the live stream and say, "Hey Michael, it's time for you to make lasagna for dinner," and then she'll leave. Okay, so we just paid for the key. I like how the conversation involves them both saying voila multiple times. Voila, here's the key. Voila. Okay, so Jim Archer now. First option for the conversations is the faster one. I timed it out. In this case, the second option is slower because it leads to talking about the stock market, I believe.
Depuis le krach boursier, les compagnies ferment les unes après les autres, y compris les banques. Le président Hoover n'arrête pas d'annoncer la
Le président Hoover, I love it.
Ça donne à réfléchir.
Votre banque se porte
So
bien?
here's Jim Archer.
Soyez rassurés, nous nous portons très bien, merci. Excusez-moi. Banque de Main Street.
I kind of like his French voice too. In English, his voice is sort of, what do you say?
Oui, je sais, mais
I'm proud to say we're doing just fine, thank you. Oh, this is Jim Archer's bank. Now I'm so sad. I'm very sad now. Such a sad guy. But now I'm happy, Miss Drew.
Je crois que je vais y aller.
Au revoir.
C'est Joshua Crowley qui vous a donné cette horloge?
Oui, malheureusement, elle a cessé d'indiquer l'heure presque tout de suite.
My family is actually watching a baking show upstairs.
Bonjour.
La clé que vous avez fait expertiser par Monsieur Waddell. Pourrait-il s'agir de la clé de l'horloge que Joshua
They're watching,
Peut-être bien, j'imagine. Vous êtes au courant?
the 8-year-old likes it. The Great British Baking Show, that's the one they're watching right now. I've never actually seen it myself.
Comme il m'a dit que la clé était sans valeur, je m'en moque.
Alors je peux garder cette clé.
Yeah, I know Nancy is generally called French. I mean, in the French books, the books were obviously made before the video games. So in the books, her name was Alice Waugh, I believe. But in the game, she's just straight up Nancy Drew. Little fun fact there with the Nancy Drew various names and translations. Also, Russian Nancy Drew, it's Bess and Jess instead of Bess and George. I thought that's kind of cool. It rhymes. It's cute. I love it. Oh, we got some fans of the Great British Baking Show. Oh, great! You should come over to my house, watch the show with my my wife and kids.
Oui, vous êtes Nancy Drew. Je suis une amie d'Emily Crandall. Vous savez, de l'auberge des Lilas. Oui, oui. Écoutez, je suis un peu pressée. Je vais à une fête et il me faut un peu de temps pour me faire une beauté. Qu'est-ce que vous voulez? Madame Sheldon m'a demandé de venir chez vous récupérer ses cartes de bridge. Vous savez quoi?
I did like how, you know, in the English, I don't know, I think they have more normal voices in the French, where they have more accents in the English. In English, we have a different idea of what people from the 1930s sound like. If you've ever watched the old TV shows from the 1930s, my dad used to watch a lot of Flash Gordon. And everybody talks sort of like this in the 1930s. Yes, and there's the bad guy voice, which sounds like this. But then our dashing hero runs... I know, all the guys seem to talk the same because they were all stage actors, and so they weren't used to using microphones, and so they're all talking in the deep projection voices. Oh, we've got somebody from the UK. Do you guys have the Great British Baking Show? The Great British Baking Show in the United Kingdom? Do you guys still call it the Great British Baking Show, or is it just called the Great Baking Show? I really like funfetti cake. That's my favorite. My wife and I have had a fight going for years about whether or not whether ice cream cake is good or not. I like to pretend that I hate ice cream cake, It's okay. My favorite part of like having the store-bought cake is the frosting, which was amazing, and the frosting and ice cream cake is like not the same kind of frosting, a very different kind of frosting, and that's part of the reason why I don't like it so much. Okay, so they do have the show in England, and it's called the British Bake Off, huh? I guess here in America we added the word great to the title because it's Great Britain. That makes sense.
Désolé, jeune fille, j'allais fermer.
Je suis juste venu chercher les tickets de tombola.
Okay, somebody's asking, am I gonna play other games?
Je lui ai dit qu'il serait prêt aujourd'hui, c'est vrai.
I tried playing Fire Emblem like last week. Yeah, and it got like 50 views, so I mean I'm gonna finish Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, but you know, I'm probably not gonna go back to doing much more Fire Emblem just because nobody really wanted to watch it. I'll go back to playing more Fairy Tail Princess games. I've got several Fairy Tail Princess games on my list. I don't know how I got into doing the Fairy Tail Princess games. It was something I could play with you know, with the little girl, you know, my stepdaughter Mary when she was a little girl. But now she's older. Oh, she loves Frozen. Frozen's amazing. I'm not playing Pokemon because I'm bad at Pokemon. Yeah, so with the Fairy Tail Princess games, I still get them, and what happens is Mary plays them by herself, and she actually ends up beating the games way faster than I do. You know, so I can't really play the games with her anymore because I'm embarrassed by how awful I am at them. It's funny because you think I would, you know, why don't we play this game? I'm actually kind of good at it. Yeah. Okay. Come on, let's hope we catch a fish. Okay, that was taking too long, so I'm throwing it again. I think if Nancy starts humming, that means we're bad. Okay, so somebody mentioned Pokemon. I did a walkthrough for Pokemon Yellow, which was really... you can watch it if you want. I don't think I was very good at it, but I tried. Oh no, it got humming again. No. What you're supposed to do is use the top bait over here on the right, and I don't know why I'm having trouble with this. I do like her humming though, it's very cute. Okay, we'll try again. Maybe here. It's funny how I was just talking about, oh, I'm great at this game, I'm good at it, and then I get stuck like this. Come on, fish. Come on, fish, do it. You want to eat. Got it. Got it. Because if you want to get the fish on your first try, that's sort of where you aim. I mean, that's basically the bait you use and where you aim.
Faites-moi voir ce que vous avez là. Voyez-vous ça? Vous avez réussi. Laissez-moi prendre ça.
Je vous en prie.
Okay, so this is good, and now I'm going to be going to the Lilac Inn where I saw the Enter the Carriage House. Okay, so I've got the solution here. It's 1221 2322 5334 3241. The answer is different in English and in French. I think in French, yeah, the first word is ruse in French, and in English the first word is keen. So that sort of throws off the solution. The third word is different too. It switches from pony in English to mule in French. Click like a madman. Okay, so 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2. And those numbers refer to how many times you have to click in order to turn it. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it's 3, 2, 4, 1. You know, I really don't have to, like, number how many times you have to click in order to solve the puzzle. It's not really that difficult of a puzzle, but that's just how I played it. Okay, 8. Two. This solution is different on French and English. Different set of numbers you have to enter. That's basically the only difference, though. It's basically the same, besides for that. Next is going to be the typing challenge. I'm going to have to be quiet here while I try to figure out the typing challenge, because I do not have a French keyboard. Whoops. Oh, come on. Okay, spin around, turn around. I have to look at the corner, and so I had some navigation difficulties there. Okay, so this is...
Ça me semble correct.
Petite pois. Little fish, I think.
Intéressant. Ça me semble correct. Ça me semble correct.
That's not so bad.
Intéressant.
That wasn't so bad. Okay, yeah. So like I said, I did a speedrun earlier today for this, and my speedrun was kind of a disaster, and that was one of the things I disastered. I've never been super good at this puzzle. Again, this is a puzzle where, you know, I have a solution written down in terms of which pieces you put down and which pieces, I mean, how many times you click. But that's really not super necessary. You can obviously see where pieces are supposed to go. Got it. Yeah, so with that particular, with the typing challenge, because I have an English keyboard and not a, whatever you call it, a French keyboard, the problem is with the letter A. The letters Q and A are switched up, so for that answer, which was cabaret, I actually had to do C, type in C, Q, B, Q. Oh no, come on. Come on, help me out here. There we go. And to get that little dash, I have to press the number 6. I don't know why. Anyway, we've solved this puzzle, so now I get to go upstairs and go to the top and basically read those 2 notes there. Consider this to be like the halfway point of the game, because it kind of is the halfway point of the game, and there are a couple of things here, like basically we have two puzzles here that are triggered by here. So I always think the first part of the game is getting the four mirrors and then opening up that house there. And now we're sort of in the second half of the game where we are
Dois-je comprendre que vous avez la solution à ce test d'intelligence?
Absolument.
Regardons ça.
Let's see, we're going to the rest of whatever. We're gonna start the Marcel storyline, and we're gonna find more keys. We're actually gonna find keys and find the will and stuff like that. I don't know.
Joshua avait donné à son chapeau préféré.
Son chapeau? Il avait donné un nom à son chapeau?
And he named his hat.
Pour lui, c'était normal de lui donner un nom.
Very cute. Okay, so this is where I really failed earlier today while doing my speed run. I think I've got the right answers here. It's kind of hard to do this puzzle in another language.
Joshua a commandé quelque chose à la cristallerie Krollmeister juste avant.
What time is it? I'm on the West
Vous
Coast.
devez parler de ce bout de quartz qui est arrivé l'hiver dernier. Je l'ai encore jusque-là. Pourquoi?
Je me demandais si je pouvais vous l'acheter. Pour mon père, il adore le quartz.
Un arrangement est peut-être possible. Vous savez,
We're going through a heat wave right now, but it's not as hot today as it was yesterday, where it broke records.
Vraiment?
Et le seul problème,
I don't know, it's been a really weird... I mean, here in the Portland area, we got like 18 inches of snow this this winter, and then we got like 106, 107 degrees in the summer. It's like, what happened to our weather? Because usually, I don't know if you've been to the Pacific Northwest. Have you played Nancy Drew, Danger on Deception Island, where she goes to the Pacific Northwest? Notice how it's rainy and gray the entire time? That's what the weather is supposed to be. That's what it's supposed to be. And if I could go on a random tangent here about the snow, I mean, we called it like Snowmageddon and Snowpocalypse here. Actually, wait, I'll pay attention to this puzzle first. But basically, my wife, we were in the middle of the Snowpocalypse when my wife went to labor.
Celle-ci?
Excellent! Encore une. De quelle carte s'agit-il?
Celle-ci?
Oui, encore une. Quelle est la carte que j'ai en main?
Celle-ci?
Très bien. Encore.
Yes, I got it.
Quelle est la carte sur laquelle je concentre mes pensées?
Celle-là.
Excellent! Encore une. Quelle est la carte que j'ai en main?
Celle-ci?
Très bien.
Got it.
Vous avez
Okay, got on my
réussi.
first try.
En fait,
Okay, whew.
quoi qu'il en soit, merci de votre assistance. Voici le bout de cristal que Joshua a commandé. Prenez-le. Vous l'avez mérité. Bon, en réalité, j'ai tout fait.
Yeah, so, no, I mean, my wife went into labor, shortly after the snowpocalypse. It was, I mean, the bad snow, the 18 inches of snow, that's not when you want to go into labor, by the way, because driving through the snow is awful, and there was still ice on the roads and stuff like that. But basically, we had to, this happened in like, oh gosh, 11 o'clock at night? So we had to go out there, you know, basically defrost the car for 15 minutes, and then I had to try to rush to the hospital as quickly as possible. But I couldn't rush it, you know, we didn't get there as fast as possible because there was still ice on the roads. And it was just a weird year for weather, that's what I'm saying, and the weird weather has still going on.
J'ai besoin de récupérer des documents chez un confrère dans le coin. J'ai pensé que comme tu n'étais pas loin, tu pourrais aller les chercher.
I do not have a Nintendo Switch, and the weather is not usually this weird. This has just been a weird year for us.
Il a cherché le bureau des télégrammes Tubby. Il a dit que tu ne pouvais pas le rater.
D'accord.
Ces papiers sont très importants, Nancy.
J'irai
That's
les
okay, I
chercher,
got to my
papa.
wife, you know, to the hospital in time.
Quand il est trop bas pour ne pas tomber en panne sèche. Et essaye
In time for the baby to be born.
Oui, papa.
Gosh, what do you call it?
Remplace la roue par ta roue de secours et va tout de suite à la station d'essence pour la faire réparer.
Oui, papa.
Très bien, le sermon est fini.
Okay, I'm skipping this conversation simply by saying, hey, I don't want to talk about it right now, and that's it.
D'accord, mais en attendant,
Je sais. Va chercher ces documents.
c'est bien.
Au revoir,
Okay, so I
papa.
go to Emily, I get the key from Marcel. Okay, by talking to her, I select the option about Marcel.
Bonjour, Nancy. Est-ce que tu sais
Oh,
que ta mère
it's
a
the
fait
only
quelque
option I
chose
can
de
pick.
ça?
Oh, well, that
D'accord,
makes it
je
a
vois.
lot easier.
Les
Yay!
souvenirs de maman sont là. Je reviens un peu plus tard. Tu es la meilleure.
You're the millionaire, I think she said. I have no idea what she said there.
On dirait une clé de coffre de banque.
Okay, so now I get to go back to the bank. And one of the things about this speedrun route is that I'm doing multiple things at the same time. So, you know, we have to visit Jim Archer a couple of times, and we have to do the big Trivet quest, and we have to do telegrams, right? So I try to arrange it so I'm doing them all at the same time. So, for example, the Trivet quest, Titusville Telco, is really close to the Lilac Inn. So I have the, you know,
Et voici les cartes de Madame
I arrange it specifically so I go to Titusville Telco right after leaving the inn, because they're really close to each other.
Merci pour votre aide, Miss Jakowski. C'est moi qui vous remercie. Au revoir.
So same thing with Waddell. I tried to make sure that this trip to Mr. Waddell was on the same trip as I have to visit Jim Archer, because that saves time.
Comme je disais, sans souci. Mais ça va vous coûter $2. Vous me paierez quand vous viendrez le chercher. Bonne journée.
And also, the telegrams are still right here. They're also right here too.
Bonjour.
So I saved, you know. So basically, this trip I'm doing like 3 or so different things.
Ne trouve pas la clé.
Est-ce que ça pourrait être ça?
Elle vient de ma banque.
Est-ce que je peux voir si elle ouvre le coffre?
Il faut 2 clés pour ouvrir un coffre de banque. La clé du propriétaire et ma clé. Dans le cas présent, rien ne m'oblige à l'ouvrir pour vous.
Oh, mais je...
Cependant, si vous me rendiez un petit service...
Volontiers.
J'ai demandé à une couturière de fabriquer une robe pour l'anniversaire de ma femme la semaine prochaine. Malheureusement, la couturière et moi sommes en désaccord.
Okay, do I plan on getting a Nintendo Switch? I do not. I really want one, but I don't have time to do, play video games. Shall I say, I don't have time to just play video games for fun. I play video games for YouTube now, simply because I've got the baby, and so she doesn't sleep through gaming sessions. Not really. She will sleep. We're kind of getting her to sleep all the way through the night right now, so that's sort of she's okay with that, but she likes getting up at 3. So she's like, "Hey, I'm getting up at 3. I'm hungry. Give me food." So we're trying to get her off of that. But with daytime schedules, trying to get her to take 2 naps a day. I don't know if I'm dreaming. Maybe I'm the one who's dreaming and not her. But we're trying to get her to take 2 naps a day, and so hopefully I'd be able to get more time to play video games. It seems to be a question. I feel like if I haven't played a game before and I do a video walkthrough for it, I'm awful and I mess up. Sort of like my original video walkthrough for Nancy Drew's Secret of the Old Clock, where, I hadn't played the game before, and so I messed up on mini golf really, really badly. Really badly. It took me 3 videos. Some people think it's great to watch me mess up and not know what I'm doing, and other people say, no, Mr. Gray, play the game all the way through, figure out how to beat the game, and then do a walkthrough. I don't have time to watch you mess around. Okay, and also I tied up the finishing the Trivet quest. Why is Nancy stopping all of a sudden? I don't know why.
Les voilà. Très bien. Et voilà le dessous de plat de Joshua. Quand j'ai demandé à l'emprunter, je n'avais pas réalisé à quel point il était affreux. Heureusement, une fois mon somptueux bœuf stroganoff dessus, personne ne l'a remarqué. À présent, filez. Mes invités ne vont plus tarder. Et votre robe est d'un... Bref.
Mais j'aime cette robe. Elle est saillante.
Okay. There's probably an angry cow if I try to take the shortcut that direction, so I just won't take that shortcut. I'll just go the slightly longer route.
Bonjour,
and deliver this.
Laissez-le sur le bureau qui est là. Je vous donnerais bien un pourboire, mais j'ai les mains sales.
Qu'est-ce que vous faites?
J'essaie de faire une beauté à certaines de mes plantes avant que ce monsieur Martin arrive. C'est un gros bonnet d'une compagnie.
Okay, so we're 37 minutes and 48 seconds into this speedrun. I think that's a good time, right? I am trying to beat the game in under an hour. I've got this, right? Okay. Okay, I did deliver that telegram. I need to go upstairs. So I'm going to interrupt this conversation here, I think. See that? Where Nancy talks at the same time Nancy was talking. I kind of interrupted the conversation. Not a huge time saver, but a little time saver. And now we talk to Jane again. I select the second option 3 times. So, we're obviously supposed to have this conversation earlier in the game, right after the kitchen explodes, because we're talking about the kitchen exploding.
Il devait bien se douter que les bijoux seraient dans les parages, non? Vous pensez à quelqu'un en particulier? Désolée, c'était déjà assez difficile d'apprendre à connaître Emily. Alors le reste de cette bourgade... Bon ben, je crois que je vais appeler le shérif. Bon, à plus tard. Ne te fais pas avoir.
Excuse me, did I not? Okay, let's go back upstairs. It looks like the game thinks I didn't check out the sewing needle.
Y a pas d'aiguille. Elle est probablement dans la boîte avec le reste du matériel de couture de maman. Demande à Jane si elle sait où elle est.
Oh, I guess the game is right. I didn't zoom in all the way. Oh, no! Time waster! I had to go back downstairs and upstairs. Oh, no!
Quoi de neuf?
Oh, well.
Vous sauriez pas où se trouve
Not
l'église
like
de
the
la
worst
machine à coudre de la
time
chambre
waster
des
ever,
filles,
but
car
that's
un
still
matin,
not
je
something you
me
want to do in
souviens
a
bien.
speed run, is waste time because you accidentally made a mistake.
Les tartes que nous avons préparées ce matin avant tout ce tohu-bohu. Il faut bien
Tohu
ranger dans
bohu.
la boîte de livraison.
My favorite Nancy Drew game is probably...
Va donc sur le port
I always
préparer
like
ces tartes
saying
pour la livraison, pendant que je
Secrets
cherche
Can
cette
Kill
boîte.
Remastered.
Ça me
I
va.
like Mr. September in that game. He is an awesome character. I also like Secret of the Old Clock. Not Secret of the Old Clock. Haunted Carousel was like my first game. The first introduction to the Nancy Drew series. And so I really like that. Brings back all those happy memories. I really like the Silent Spy as well. Silent Spy was a really neat one, too. Come on, you can do this, Arglethump.
C'est fait.
Got it. Okay. Yay. Minor time saver, not looking at the backside of the card. Bigger time
Merci
saver,
d'être occupé des tartes.
talking to her before we do all the hidden passageway
Voilà cette
stuff.
boîte. Je suis sûre que cette aiguille de machine à coudre est quelque part là-dedans. Je la vois. N'oublie pas, si tu veux t'en servir, tu dois te débrouiller toute seule. Bon, à plus tard. Ok, ok.
I find it funny when she says okay, okay. In English, she says okie dokie, but okay, okay sounds fun too.
Se lever, ouvre le canapé.
Curse of Blackmore Manor is a really good one too. I really like that too.
Je ne suis pas la seule à être descendue ici récemment.
Least favorite, gotta be honest, I'm not a huge fan of White Wolf of Icicle Creek. It's gorgeous and looks fantastic, but Fox and Geese, whenever I remember Fox and Geese, it just makes me go, ugh.
Il faut que je demande.
Nancy right here is talking about Jane, the huge conversation with Jane that you get when you do the hidden passageway stuff. So that's why I purposely talked to Jane before
Bien, super.
doing the hidden passageway.
Cette tirelire a l'air d'être là depuis longtemps.
Okay, running all the way over here.
Il vaut mieux ne pas laisser les lumières allumées.
Furious clicking.
Tu as faim,
Mon lit dans
hein?
ce salon.
De quoi?
Actually, my most popular walkthrough as it came out was, I think it's still Haunting a Castle Malloy, believe it or not. I had no idea.
Demande si
I think that was a good game. Yeah, it was a great game. But I played the game right when it came out, and I don't know, I guess maybe I was the only person playing Nancy Drew games on YouTube back then, and that gave me a lot of extra views, because it's still my #1 most viewed video is the first video in that series. Nancy Drew Haunting a Castle Malloy. 23, 24, oh gosh, okay, 25, 26. Okay, there we go. I have the solution to that puzzle written down here. Basically, all the pieces start in the exact same spot, so you could just rotate them easily into place. Because they all start in the same spot, so, I mean, it doesn't matter which language you're playing it in.
Il vaut mieux ne pas laisser les lumières allumées.
So that's one of those puzzles where it does help to have numbers. Just how many times do I click? Where do I click? Just having it numbered out helps me. The final scene is a good game, too. I really liked Ransom of the Seven Ships. I'm going to be honest. I know that's not a popular opinion, but I really liked that one puzzle, which was a double slider puzzle. That was amazing. What was that puzzle everybody hated? The hourglass puzzle? That was a difficult puzzle. I like the puzzles with Cuckoo, though. Cuckoo's puzzles were pretty good. Especially how they changed, when you played the game. That was nice. Underwater Sudoku was a good puzzle. It was just really difficult. I don't know, I think I liked it better than the monster Sudoku in Shadow at the Water's Edge, which was also a really good puzzle, but I'm just really bad at it.
Pas mal, Miss Drew. Pas mal du tout.
And that's one of the weird things, you know, when picking which Nancy Drew game is best. It's like, which game do I like the best? It's not really which game is the best, because there are puzzles like that where it's like, that's a great puzzle, it's a good puzzle, but I'm awful at it, so I don't like it. You know? Okay, so this time I'm giving the dress to Mr. Archer, and that should give me the trivet. The monkey puzzles, I really like the monkey puzzles in Ransom of the Seven Ships, actually. I like them. And then I think the last time I played the game, the monkey puzzles were awful and I could not beat them at all. And then I stopped liking it. I did like the culprit in that game, though. It was pretty cool. Yeah, Haunted Mansion is a good game. But you'll notice I don't speedrun that game because there are like 5 other people who have done speedruns for that game, and they are so much better at clicking than I am. So basically, you know, they're really, really, really good at navigation. Okay, so you might have noticed I cut off Nancy in a conversation there. That was probably a good example there of navigation there. You'll notice I moved too far to the right and had to go back left to go through the door. So obviously it's a minor time waster, but these people are so good at you know, navigation, never missing anything. They are saving half seconds with like every single click. Okay, we got his money. Okay. So thanks to Mr. Waddell, we now have the piece of quartz, so we can use the ham radio. 46, ooh, coming up on 47 minutes in. I need to break into Mr. Topham's house, though. Come on. How did I do this wrong? Uh-oh. More navigation problems. Right. Okay. Yeah, that picture at the end of Shadow at the Water's Edge is a really difficult one. There's got to be a faster way to solve the puzzle. If you saw me, you know, I'm in the middle of doing the 4 Nancy Drew Games marathon. I played that game in Russian. And the way I solved the puzzle... He is shouting at his cat. Basically, you can left-click and right-click with that puzzle, if that makes sense, right? You know, one of them involves pressing a space in, and the other one involves saying, hey, I'm not actually going to use this space. So, you know, I did both. I left-clicked and right-clicked just to save my spot, to help myself not get lost. But obviously the faster solution is to only left-click, because the game only keeps track of the pieces that you press in. I might have left-click and right-click backwards there, but you understand what I mean. If you're only doing one type of clicking and not the other type of clicking, it's technically faster, but I will get lost and confused, because I'm, you know, that is a monster puzzle, and it's supposed to be a monster puzzle, so I don't complain too hard. If I could live in any Nancy Drew game, you know what? I'd rather live in the Alibi in Ashes. I'd want to hang out in Nancy's town. I really like the characters in that game. Alibi in Ashes was great. And you know, now that I've actually read the Nancy Drew book starring the characters like Brenda Carlton, Chief McGinnis, and Deirdre Shannon, that just makes me love the game all the more. Because Deirdre Shannon in the books is not exactly the best character. She's kind of bad, but in the game she was awesome. She was a great character.
Allô?
Ici Pyramus. Qui êtes-vous?
Je m'appelle Nancy Drew. Est-ce qu'un certain Puck avait l'habitude de vous contacter sur cette fréquence?
Brenda Carlton. Brenda Carlton, she was like from the 1980s Nancy Drew games, and she's basically supposed to be like Nancy's rival, except she's also a reporter. But they didn't want her to be like a real rival, like somebody who could really challenge Nancy. She kind of is more like a goofball rival who is more of a joke than anything else. And I feel like that's sort of the exact same idea behind Deirdre Shannon, where, you know, they came up with her. It's like, okay, we need somebody for Nancy to compete with, but we don't want her to be like a real rival. We want her to be more of a joke than anything else. Although I really did like the book where Nancy had to team up with Deirdre Shannon in order to solve a mystery. That was great. Also the, oh gosh, the one that they made Ghost of Thornton Hall based on, that was also a pretty good book too. Oh gosh. I think it was the Civil War. It was a Civil War book. I seem to think it was okay. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. I don't know, I remember it. It's strange. Nancy beats the culprit in the... I mean, they didn't do this in the game, obviously, but in the book, Nancy stops the culprit, she pulls out a gun, and throws the gun at the culprit. I thought that was kind of a funny way to stop the culprit. Okay, but getting back to the actual game, which I'm actually playing right now, I'm doing these phone calls, ham radio calls in a different order. In English, it's faster to call Thisbe first. In French, it's faster to call Pyramus first. Slight difference. It saves like about a minute and a half.
Je craignais que ce ne soit quelque chose de ce genre. En fait, vous n'avez pas eu de nouvelles parce qu'il est décédé depuis plusieurs mois. Oh non, c'est encore pire. Et après tout ce tintouin pour me faire apprendre la ligne et être sûr que je la comprenne. Votre ligne? Oui, vous savez, Puck, je ne sais pas quel était son vrai nom, voulait partager son amour du théâtre avec moi, alors il m'a donné une ligne à déclamer. Une ligne très curieuse même. Il m'a dit de la répéter qu'après avoir...
Yeah, but they got rid of Deirdre Shannon in the newest Nancy Drew book series. And by newest, that's like 4 years ago, so I guess it's not very new at this point.
Immédiatement. Je la connais par cœur, vous savez. Alors c'est ombre que nous sommes, si nous avons des plus, figurez-vous seulement, et tout sera réparé, que vous n'avez fait qu'un somme pendant que ces visions vous apparaissaient. Les autorités sont sur le qui-vive ici, car l'eau est mauvaise. Ne va pas par là. Les autorités sont sur le qui-vive ici, car l'eau est mauvaise. Ne va pas par là. C'est ce que j'étais
If I'm going to talk about Nancy Drew books, it's kind of interesting how this game is sort of based on like 4 Nancy Drew books. I think it's based on the first 3.
Terminé.
I have to look... I forget what the first 3 books are like, but the first 3 books were part of a trilogy. That's how Nancy Drew came out. They released the first 3 books all at once, like March 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. That's where they released the 3 books, 1930. And so this book, this game is sort of based on all 3 of those books. They've got elements of all 3 of those books. Like, they've got, obviously, the evil Topham there.
Oh, quel dommage.
We've got the evil impersonator, somebody impersonating, you know... Oh gosh, what do you call it? The foster parent, that's what Jane's doing, so that was from the 3rd book. And we've got the hidden passageway between 2 houses that are close by, which is from the 2nd book. So it's got elements of the first 3. And obviously the name Lilac Inn comes from the 4th book, which is The Mystery of Lilac Inn. Although I think that's all they took from that book. I'm not sure. Okay, so we're coming up on 54 minutes here, everybody. We can... Well, somebody's asking who my favorite secondary character is. You know, I'm gonna say Ned. I'll be boring, I'll go with the guy. Go Ned.
Bon, j'espère avoir été utile. Terminé.
But like I said, Deirdre Shannon is also one of my favorites.
Je me demande ce que signifient ces symboles. Flûte?
If she shows up in like Midnight in Salem, like people are thinking, that would be great. She was in the preview for that game, so you know, fingers crossed. Okay, and then this puzzle. Okay. Oh gosh, I can't read my notes here. Do not have bad handwriting. Handwriting where you might say the word banned instead of bad. Yeah, you do not want to have that kind of handwriting while writing notes. Okay, that's the faster solution. Other people have the solution which uses all the numbers, or they use 2 and 3 in place of 5. Obviously, it's faster to click 5, because that way you're only pressing one button.
Une balle de golf. Sûrement pour jouer sur le mini-golf de Joshua.
I kind of like the culprit in the captive curse. I remember replaying, oh, whoops, I'm supposed to play mini-golf, right. When I played Labyrinth of Lies, I totally thought that the culprit in Labyrinth of Lies was going to be the same culprit from the captive curse. Because at the end of the game, the captive curse, that culprit, no spoilers for who the culprit is, but the culprit says, au revoir, that means until we meet again, Nancy, I will see you again. And so I thought that meant, hey, the culprit is going to reappear in a later game. That is not the case, though.
Tu dois parler à Émilie. Elle ne va vraiment pas fort. Comment ça? Que s'est-il passé? S'il te plaît, va lui parler. Elle ne veut pas m'écouter. Je ne sers à rien.
Secrets Can Kill, the original Nancy Drew game, is probably one of the easier ones if you know what to do. And like I said, White Wolf of Icicle Creek is one of the harder ones. The endgame challenge for White Wolf of Icicle Creek, I originally played it on the Wii version, and that was pretty difficult. It's sort of like the driving challenge at the end of this game, except you have to do it for 3 minutes straight. If the culprit goes off screen at any time during the 3 minutes, it's an automatic loss. And so I had the hardest time doing the the snowmobile challenge at the end of White Wolf of Icicle Creek on the Wii.
Où est-ce que j'ai déjà entendu ça? Ah oui, je sais. C'est Clara qui disait tout le temps que j'étais son ace sur le parcours.
I liked Alibi and Ashes a lot, though. The puzzles in that game were pretty fair. Oh man, 57 minutes and like 10 seconds. I might beat this. I'm probably going to beat this game in under an hour. Somebody's mentioning the awful golf game. You don't have to play the golf game in order to beat the speedrun. I mean, in order to beat the game, as you see. In order to beat... I mean, the reason you play the golf game, not only does it give you a toy, if you want a toy, but it tells you one of the answers to the carriage house door, you know? But I already know that the answer to the door is pony. Here in French, it's mule, not pony. But because I already know the answer, I can just input the answer without playing mini-golf. So that is a huge time saver. Now, it would be a money saver, though. Would very much be a money saver. Because, as you saw, we can buy toys from the general store, and those cost $0.25 each. But it only costs 10 cents in order to get a toy from Minigolf. So it saves money to buy toys through Minigolf rather than buying toys through the general store. Unfortunately, the amount of time it takes to buy a toy from the general store and the amount of time it takes to play a round of Minigolf, there is just no difference between the two in terms of speed. One is extremely faster than the other. Okay, and Nancy says I need to go straight to the exit and stop. Got it. Woo! Okay, getting ready to hit my pause button here. Got it. Okay, so that was 59 minutes and 3 seconds. What was my original? My English record is 59 minutes and 35 seconds. So I beat my original record, everybody. We did it. Woo! Slightly faster in French. Woo! Hey, that mini golf game is kind of fun. I'm just awful at it. I am just awful at it. I remembered, you know, when I was in high school, the other guys would play games like that on the internet. It was like a flash game. I forget the name of it, but it was basically mini golf. Also, Barnacle Blast, they would play a game like that on the computers in the library. And the librarians wouldn't like it because they were supposed to be doing research in the library.
Papa dit qu'il est très improbable qu'il y parvienne et qu'il ferait mieux de s'occuper de ses cuillères. Voilà. Quand tu rentreras à la
My
maison,
favorite game over in the Nancy Drew. I'm gonna go for Nancy gets hit on the head with an elevator. That's just so weird and disturbing. No, wait. Chicken of Doom. Nancy gets killed by a chicken. Secret of Shadow Ranch. Favorite game over ever. Okay, so thanks, Detective. Congratulations, Detective. You are a puzzle pro, which is obviously true. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed watching me beat the game in under an hour. Oh, yeah, and slightly faster than my speed for English. So cool. Thank you for watching, everybody. You have a nice day, and stay cool. Hopefully the weather where you live is not that crazy.